Salutations, gaming enthusiasts, George Maynard here, and back for the first time in quite a while with a new flatmates. And the group of commentators we have for today is a bit different than last time. As you know, last time Benson and Game Dimension decided to leave the podcast, and since then Shroob Invader isn't responding to my messages, and the other guy that I had on last time, Crimson Piranha, has completely expunged his presence on the internet. His channel doesn't exist anymore. So today we have two brand new hosts. We have FlipZ, who appeared in one previous episode before, and Altermentality, also known as Courtney. Say hello.
Hi, how are you?
So today we are going to talk about the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake, which we've all recently played through. Just firstly to talk about what our histories with Paper Mario and the RPGs are. I have played all of the Mario RPGs before, and this is not my first time playing through Thousand Year Door, though it was like a decade ago since I last played it, so it's been a while.
You want to go next, FlipZ?
Yeah, I'll go. Hi, how are ya? My name is FlipZ. I really love the chocolate-covered pretzel snack called FlipZ. You've probably seen my edits on Twitter, and that's all my life is at the moment. But as for Paper Mario, I've had a very strange history, because I've played the games all out of order. And I love each of them. First one I played was Sticker Star, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, that's a good place to start, because it kind of only goes uphill.
That's true.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'm saying that as somebody who really likes Sticker Star.
Yeah, I played through that game, I'm not even kidding, like 5 times.
Oh yeah, like 7 times me.
Oh wow, dang, you beat me. Okay. And then after that, I made Super Paper Mario. And I love that game too, but I need to replay it again to give a fair judgment on it nowadays. And then after that, I believe I got a Wii U, and then I played the 64, Paper Mario 64. Also loved that.
That's how I played 64.
Yeah, I mean, it's convenient. And then after that, I played Color Splash. I loved that too. And then Origami King, loved that. And then finally, I played the Thousand Year Door remake.
Yes, that was the first time you played Thousand Year Door, wasn't it? With the remake.
Then I never got to play the original because 6-year-old me had no idea what that tiny disc was on the Wii.
Oh. Yeah.
She's like, what the heck is that tiny disc?
Yeah, I didn't say what my order for the games were. I was like, you kind of very much back and forth between old and new, you were.
Yeah.
I started with Super on the Wii, then I did Sticker Star, and what was it next after that? Oh, I'm not sure. I think I probably ended up going back and doing the first and second ones after that, and then eventually Color Splash and Origami King when they came out. But yeah, I managed to enjoy all of them. I really enjoy all of them. In fact, I have my second most viewed video on my channel is about how I like Sticker Star, because that is a very uncommon opinion. Anyway, Courtney, here you go.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm Courtney, also known as Altermentality, on Twitter and Twitch and like everywhere. But so I'm old. I've been a fan of the Paper Mario series for 20 years now, and I've played them all in order. So I started out playing the first Paper Mario on the N64. I was a little late to it. It had already been out for a couple years by the time I played it. But same thing with TTYD. It had been out for maybe about a year and a half when I played it back in the day. But that was a long time ago now. And I really loved both of those games. I just fell in love with the series immediately. And then I played Super Paper Mario when that came out. I got it the day it came out. And it became my favorite, actually. It still is my favorite. It's my favorite Mario game. It means a lot to me.
Oh, Super's my
but
favorite.
I really love...
Nice.
Yeah. So we got a group of SPM appreciators here, which I am happy about. But so I really love the first 3 games a ton. When Sticker Star came out, I was one of those people who was just really mad about it, and I don't think I can ever like fully get over it. I actually have not finished the game. I got about halfway through it and gave up on it. So I was a bitter curmudgeon for a while, but when I finally did give Color Splash a chance in 2018, I liked it. And I mellowed out a lot around that time for a lot of reasons. And I just decided to give the new Paper Mario game a chance, and I thought Color Splash was really, like, it's definitely different, but it is, in my opinion, a big step up from Sticker Star. I think it's a very, like, funny game, and it's just like a delight to play. And then Origami King, I played that when it came out, and I also really like that one. I have my issues with, both it and Color Splash, but I do like them, and I appreciate what they are, what they're trying to do. So I would say that Paper Mario is definitely one of my most favorite gaming series of all time, because there's 6 entries, and I think they're all great except for one. So that's like a really, really good average. So,
Yeah.
Good batting average, yes. I feel like the new games, they've got a very different vibe. I feel like they're very funny, they've got a really good charm to them. For me, all of the new games, they just really make me smile, and I experienced Sticker Star before even really knowing what Paper Mario was quote-unquote supposed to be, so that probably helped me to enjoy it more, to be honest. Like we said before, it's probably a good idea to start early on with Sticker Star, then you're not disappointed by it. But yeah,
I don't like the game, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to like the game. But
you don't
I'm not
have to. That's fine.
gonna be one of those people who's like if someone says they like it, I'm not gonna be like, oh wow, what a dummy.
Yeah.
If people can like what they like, and I'm glad people do.
I get some comments like that on my Sticker Star video, and it's unfortunate, but it's people like that who, in the same breath, are really nasty to people who like Sticker Star while praising TTYD to the heavens. That kind of makes it hard for me to appreciate Thousand Year Door for what it is, because my brain's I'm feeling spiteful to people who love Thousand Year Door but keep on hounding me for liking Sticker Star. But yeah,
That's how I felt.
That's
That's
really
exactly how I
unfortunate.
felt.
yeah, it's a dark, it's a
I'm
bit of a dark
huge-
cloud.
I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of TTYD, but I fully recognize that some other fans of it can be very overbearing and embarrassing, and I hate that because I know it's gonna turn off people, especially younger people who didn't grow up with the game or who grew up with the newer games and like them. And I just wish people would chill, because it doesn't make the fandom look good. And we are in a good position right now. We got a remake that's fantastic, so people can stop being mean. There's no
Yeah, it
reason
is.
to.
And I feel like there's actually,
Yeah.
honestly, a decent chance that the series will probably go back to the way that it was now, because Thousand Year Door Remake has been very praised, and they, gave us this after a long time of being very stubborn about not giving us anything like this. So I feel like it's probably going to have a bit of a return to form, as people have been wanting, and hopefully people will ease off on the Sticker Star hate a little bit. At least that's what I was hoping for when this game came out, but it kind of got worse on Twitter. Anyway, Twitter is never a good place
Twitter,
to be.
yeah, Twitter just got worse in general. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
Twitter
I've
is just
been on
always
Twitter for,
getting worse.
Yeah, every day it gets worse. It's just bad.
But it's just so hard to look away from. It's
I'm on Twitter purely for memes.
yeah, just watching the slow train wreck just disintegrate in front of you. Anyway, so
Wait, speaking of that,
the Thousand Year Door remake. So, how do we
Yay.
structure this? Thoughts? Game good?
I thought the game was pretty good. I liked it a lot.
So
Game
I
good, end of
issues.
podcast.
So an interesting thing happened to me, which is that I've always loved this game, and I, since I played it when I was pretty young, and it made such an impact on me, it was always kind of hard for me to be critical of it and to see what other people were saying when they were like, oh, the structure of the levels is just really simplistic and stuff. And I was like, well, these places are so ingrained in my mind that it was hard for me to look at it objectively. But it's like when I approached the game as the remake with a fresh coat of paint, everything looks different. There's new music and stuff. It kind of jogged me out of the nostalgia, I guess. And for the first time, I actually was able to sort of compare it to the more recent Paper Mario games. And say oh yeah, there is a lot of, going back and forth, a lot of if you compare it to something like Origami King, which has this really nicely built out world that's just really fun to explore. And then,
absolutely.
TTYD, you're kind of just
Yeah.
back and forth on
Back and
the
forth
same,
in-
very simplistic.
Yeah, back
Yeah,
and
that's
forth
the
between
thing.
a million different hallways.
I
So
no,
it's
yeah.
I get it now. I definitely get the criticism.
And it's funny that people criticize Super Paper Mario for being hallways, but Thousand Year Door is like 3D Super Paper Mario kind of
Yeah.
the whole way.
Yeah.
This game's literally like a 2D game for the most part, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
You know, that's the thing. I noticed that backtracking issue as I was playing it, but they had the most easiest solution. And I don't, in my opinion, I don't think the riding on Yoshi, the speed thing you get, is good enough. I don't know why they locked that to a partner. That's
Yeah,
not a
it's
good
also
idea.
annoying because, I mean, you have to dismount him every time you
Yeah.
go through a door, so...
In my opinion, they should have just brought back the speedy spin
Yeah,
from
spin-
64,
the
because
spin
that
was
was just
great.
way better.
That was really good. That was really
Yeah.
good.
It was a lot more versatile, it's just better. I don't know
Or
why
like
they didn't
also
bring it
like
back.
if you're like maybe the first. What if like the first kind of new boots that you got also improved your speed? That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I felt like
but
that was just a very
yeah.
simple and easy solution that they didn't bring back.
I am
Which is odd.
glad they did. They definitely did improve the backtracking in certain areas. There are some bits where, I mean, a lot of the backtracking in this game is baked into the story, so there's not much that they could really do about it.
Yeah.
But like they did make
Train.
it like a little bit easier. Like the springy keelhole key was nice, and there's a pipe that you get eventually in chapter 4, which helps a lot. And of course, there's the big room of pipes for all the chapters. The one main thing that I would have added, that I'm jumping way ahead in this list they've written for the topics we're going to discuss, but the one thing that I would have added to ease the backtracking is the return pipe from Super Paper Mario. If
Yes.
you had that,
Yeah, that would've
and you
been
could
nice.
just,
Although-
if you could just return to Rogueport when you want to, that would have been very handy.
Yeah, although that would, like, not work with the story in certain parts.
Yeah, no,
so,
I mean,
like,
Yeah,
when you're
wait.
stranded on Keelhaul Key, maybe
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
like,
I was thinking of that.
maybe
I was like, wait, hold
it
on.
washed overboard and you don't get it again till the end of the chapter.
Yeah,
or
that could
something.
be good. Yeah, they could write it in a way. But remember, in Super Mario, there was also times when it said in the description of the rooms, "Watch out, the signal might not reach sometimes," and that's like when you go to the underwear, you can't just zoop back.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I
Yeah.
actually didn't know that.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
cool.
Yeah. Well, that's like part
I
of the
don't think-
story. You're stuck
when I-
there. and You need to leave.
When I
can't
played
get
Super
out of
Paper
the
Mario, I
opening
never
after
used
a
that pipe.
But yeah, I've enjoyed this game quite a bit. The battles are good and whatnot. Though to be honest, I kind of functionally like Origami King more than Thousand Year Door for the battles. To be honest, I like the puzzles quite a bit. Though I have actually been replaying Origami King recently after Thousand Year Door to like compare them in my mind a bit, and. Though I have gone on record in the past of really liking the battles in Origami King because I'm a big puzzle guy, love the puzzles. I think that the ring system is really fun. I do kind of get a bit stressed with the timer going down now, to be honest. I love
Yeah.
puzzle games, but give me a puzzle game with like a ticking timer and suddenly I'm not having fun anymore and my brain is stalling. But
Yeah, I have a friend who just
Yeah.
like could not enjoy Origami King at all because the timer just stressed him out too much. And I get that. Like timers in games really stress me out too. And in Origami King, I will fully admit that, especially for the bosses, me and my fiance, we were playing it together. We would take screenshots and just kind of go into the Switch
I did that
menu a lot.
sometimes.
Hey, a
think
lot of people don't do. Hey, I
yeah.
did that too. I did that too. Don't feel bad.
I mostly tried not to do it, but when on like the hardest bosses, which for me when I first played through were the Water Elemental and Tape, I just did a screenshot and then run it off of that because even then sometimes the wings from the Water Elemental obscured the little water spouts that got rid of some of the rings, and then I'm like, no, I didn't see those. Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah, I have something to say about the battles. One thing about RPGs that I care a lot about is pacing. Well, we just mentioned the backtracking, but I don't like slow, long battles. And the thing is, you guys know about in this game where you can do the perfection, like da 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 da, like at the right moment.
the super guard.
Well, not the super guard. Like when you attack, if you press A at a certain
Oh,
time, you
like
get
stylish?
stylish. That's the
Yeah.
word. I remember when I first played, I really liked doing that, but then as time went on, I'm just realizing this is just dragging on the battles
Yeah.
way longer than it need to be. And
Yeah,
then I
if you
just
don't
kind
need
of
to get star points. It's just like
Yeah.
you don't have to.
I just stopped doing them, and it just sped up, and I just kind of felt bad. I'm like, oh man, I don't really want to I don't want to keep pressing A at the right time, and it's just gonna make the battle last 2 minutes longer.
But then also, when you got used to doing stylish moves and then you suddenly stop doing it, suddenly the attack feels way lamer all of a sudden, which is...
Yeah, it does. I mean,
It's
I'm not.
just like
I mean,
you're giving up. Like,
Yeah, the
that's
stylish
you
is cool.
You're going
I just-
from the hammer into triple backflip and everybody cheering you to just doing a hammer and yay!
Yeah.
It's like,
I
I'm
do
done.
like the stylishes. I just don't like how far it drags on the battles.
Yeah, I totally
that's a
feel
me
that.
thing though. Cause I like I'm directly comparing this game to 64. Cause I played Paper Mario 64 like 4 times and I played a ROM hack of it. I love that game to death. So I'm directly comparing
I
this
think
game
I
against
played
it.
it like once, and it was a really long time ago. Paper Mario 64 is the one that I really need to replay. I need to boot up my Wii U again, wipe the dust off it.
It's one of the most in my opinion, it's one of the most replayable games. It's so easy to pick back up and play. And
I haven't played the original TTYD in 4 years now, so I can't really like compare it directly, but I have heard a few people say that the battles in the remake are actually even just a little bit slower, like the menuing is a little slower, like you gotta wait just a little bit longer on certain things, so you know, the pacing is...
Yeah. Exactly what you said. Like when you get the stylish moves and all the star points go to it, it just like adds in like an extra 5 seconds. I'm like, oh my god, you can still get through the menus while this is going up. Why do I have to wait for these star points to gather up and then finally the battle can end? Like, why am I waiting for this?
So
That's just a small complaint, though.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to what they do with the next Paper Mario game, to be honest. Because I feel like there is a decent chance that they'll, like, if not like a full return to form, they'll, like, at least loosen the shackles on the originality for the series that they've had, and, like, probably do something adjacent to this sort of system. But, like, I'm curious to see how they'll evolve it and change it, because they've had a really creative stint with Sticker Star to Origami King, and they've basically gone back to the basics of the series with Thousand Year Door. I want to see how they maybe blend the two and have the two parts of the series learn from each other, perhaps.
Very curious to see how that goes.
I personally feel like the real paper trilogy, or whatever you want to call it, the past 3 games.
I like to call it the arts and crafts trilogy.
I call it
That's a
the
good
fan
name.
trilogy because they all have like the giant fan thing in it.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so I feel like that trilogy has sort of like reached its peak and told its story. I thought Origami King did like a really good job of telling a story about actual paper people and like, you know, like actually using that thematically in a really powerful way. So I don't really know where else they could go with it from here if they kept trying to pound that home, but you know.
I do think Origami King did a really good job of that, and they did some really creative things with the concept of the world being made of paper and the characters being made of paper. A lot of people don't like that, like partially. I've been on Twitter just recently, and I also made a video about this, about how lots of people really want Paper Mario to just be in the same universe as main Mario, and that really doesn't sit right with me, especially with the modern games in particular, because like it's important to the world building that it's paper, and I think that makes it really interesting. But I can see how people would not like it, because Nintendo kind of replaced the original characters and more interesting stories with it's paper now, that's the gimmick. Though I do think that there's lots of interesting things that they can do with that. I can understand people wanting it to be a bit more in the background, though, I suppose, and not have the entire story just hinge on that idea.
Yeah. I like to think of the first 3 games as being like in the real Mario verse, and the latter 3 games as being in their own universe, because it is like the paper aspect is completely key to the plot, to the gameplay, to everything about those games. And not only that, but the characters are self-aware of themselves most of the time as being made of paper, in a way that like characters in TTYD are not. Like, it's not like Rockhawk is out there being like, I'm gonna give you a paper cut because I'm made of paper. Like,
I suppose,
you know, they are not.
In, like, normal games, people aren't constantly making jokes like, I'm made of flesh. Funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that gave me whiplash, because I was so used to the newer games of all these paper jokes, so when I played this game, I'm just like, whoa, okay, things are kind of real.
I thought
it's
the
just a
paper
story.
jokes are funny.
Yeah.
I find it.
And the only thing that really has to do with paper is, like, the curses that you get from
I love when Mario gets a 3rd curse. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it, bro. Yeah, I'm not scared of you. I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That was great.
That is funny. Yeah. So, that wasn't even on the list of things to discuss. That's fine.
Are we still on like the things we don't like or would have changed? 'Cause
We've just gone all out of order. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about.
let's just get all the grievances out. Let's get all the.
Yeah.
What would you change?
Okay. So I got a big one. So it says can't English here. As I said before, I love Paper Mario 64. Another thing I love is the Peach segments. I love those. Those are so much fun. And it's great seeing Peach like, I guess still kind of be a damsel in distress, but she's like actively helping out Mario in some way.
Yeah, she's not
like
she's not just flailing about. Oh no, something save me!
Yeah, exactly. And so when I saw God, can I speak here? So when they got the Peach segments in TTYD, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see how this is gonna be. In my opinion, they suck.
Aw, really?
64's is better. 64 had better Peach segments than TTYD. Hot take.
How so?
I agree with you, actually. I like the story of, like, her and Tech a lot, but I
Yeah,
actually just don't like doing most of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. The relationship with Peach and Tech is, like, the good thing. But the rest, it's just like, oh man, what happened to all the fun stuff? What happened to baking a cake? What happened to using the parasol to transform into other guards sneaking around?
You make
What
the
happened to the
potions
game
pretty
show?
similar, but-
None of that stuff is in this game. I'm like, that's kind of lame.
So you think that
I'm
it's,
just like-
it's less whimsical, so you don't like it as much?
Yeah, I just felt like we weren't helping Mario as much. Like in 64, you could find items and badges that you can send to Mario. I was like, oh man, what if we find some cool badges in TTYD? Nothing.
Yeah, I think maybe part of it for me is, like, it was just innately fun to be, like, in the, you know, typical role of Peach being kidnapped by Bowser, and so you're kind of like, you know, you've got all of the Bowser's army guards and stuff, and you even find out a little bit more about Bowser in the process.
Yeah, like reading his diary.
I just don't think Grotus is, like, a very fun character. I think
Grotus
is kind of boring.
is...
Sorry, Grotus fans.
Grotus is
Sorry,
like
but...
the least interesting villain in Paper Mario games, or like the least, at least like the least interesting main villain. With the exception of Mute Bowser and Sticker Star, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing. I mentioned Peach sneaking around. Peach does sneak around in TTYD. I just kind of almost glossed over that. But one more thing, even though I may not like the Peach segments, the Bowser segments are fantastic.
Oh yeah, Bowser is always fun to see.
Yeah. Yeah, so that made it up for me a little bit. Like, hey, Peach segments may not be as interesting, but the Bowser segments are, like, funny as heck.
Oh yeah, they're so funny.
So, I mean, you know what, half and half, it evens out for me.
I'm excited to see what they do with Bowser in the new Mario and Luigi game.
Brothership, can't wait, man.
I'm so excited for Brothership.
Oh my, I'm getting that game day one.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
We all are.
Yes. I'm thinking of starting a new. I'm thinking of Let's Playing it on my channel, but I already have 4 Let's Plays going. I need to finish some. This is getting ridiculous. What would you change about the remake then, Courtney, if anything?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was great. I don't really have a lot of complaints. I guess maybe speed up the battles a little bit. You know.
I feel like it was a really good game, and there was not much that they could have done differently. I did mention the return pipe. That would have been nice, but there's
literally like one extremely tiny detail that they changed that I didn't like, but that's like it. It's kind of spoilers.
What is it?
But...
No, spoiler warning. It's fine. Spoiler warning. There we go.
Spoiler warning.
Oh,
so my favorite chapter in this game is Chapter 3. I love it to pieces. I've been obsessed with it since I was a kid. All the characters, like everything about it.
That's my favorite one too.
So when you discover Bandy Andy and King K and they're like almost dead. In the original, there's like flies buzzing around them, and that I always thought that was like super creepy and really disturbing. And they took out the flies in this.
I didn't even
realize.
Like,
where's the flies at? Where
they
are
kept
the flies
the nukes.
at?
What the heck? Okay.
I know, right?
I
guess they didn't.
They wanted to give you
want it to be
more
as
hope
creepy,
that
but-
they're alive. I feel, but that removes some of the shock value from the scene.
Yeah. Because, I mean, King K really does look dead. Like, he doesn't
does.
say anything. He had flies buzzing around him. Like, I guess they didn't want kids to think that he was actually, like, dead for real. But, I mean, he kind of was.
I mean, Paper Mario games have definitely traumatized kids before. I wonder what nightmares they've had about
So
Mimi.
I don't really understand why they changed that. But that's,
don't
like,
remind me.
such a small detail.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not much that I would have changed. Return Pipe would have been nice. I feel like Return Pipe, it wouldn't have made much difference to the chapters themselves, but it definitely would have streamlined the troubles. But yeah, it's mostly a really good remake.
Yeah.
It's very faithful.
You should be able to take on multiple troubles at once.
That is.
Just
that is a silly change.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with that.
That is something so easy that they could have changed. Take notes from Bug Fables. Bug Fables exists. Look at it.
Bug Fables is great, by the way.
Bug Fables is awesome.
You reminded me. I was doing like those to-do lists, and then I got to that one to-do list where I gotta help this flower get specific foods.
Oh, you need like 3 hot dogs.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hot dogs. I'll grab those in advance. And then I got the hot dogs, and they're like, okay, this should be it. And then he asked for a cake, and I'm like, yeah, screw this. I'm done. I'm gonna just move on with the game. I'm not.
Oh dear. But that was way worse in the original game when you didn't have like the fast travel room, and you had to go all the way across Rogueport and back and forth. And like, if you don't know that he needs several of them, then you're really screwed. But yeah. There's definitely like some minor streamlining things that they can fix in like whatever the next Paper Mario game is. I mean, obviously there's a slight missed opportunity to not include like a Luigi side adventure, which would have been really fun.
People were talking about that. Like, oh man, I hope they add Luigi's side adventures like an extra post-game content.
The thing is, to make that, it would like almost have to be like another full-length game. I feel.
Yeah, that's. I always thought it was kind of crazy. Like, they're never going to add anything like that because that would be... To tell that story well would be pretty much an entirely new game, so...
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably not due for another Paper Mario for a good number of years. So if they added, within a year from now, like, $20 DLC for Luigi, I would take it.
Yeah, no, I could... Actually, if they really wanted to switch things up, I could see the next Paper Mario game actually just being Paper Luigi or being Paper Peach or something like that. I think that would be amazing. I don't know if they would go there, but... Paper Bowser? Anyone?
Although, I don't know if they want to, like, get rid of the brand recognition of it's Paper Mario. Like, maybe
Paper Mario,
like,
Paper Bowser.
I've heard somebody, there's somebody on Twitter, I think it's something named, like, Nandy Crass or something, I forget what the name is, but, like, they were mentioning how maybe they could, like, have 2 separate paper series where one like follows more the new trilogy and the other follows like the old trilogy, and like maybe they suggested maybe Paper Nabbit could be the main character of the like new game's continuation, but that's besides the point anyway. I didn't need to mention that.
There's already like 2 or 3 Mario RPG series going on right now, so
I
doubt they would split the Paper Mario.
Would Mario RPG count? Like, I'd say there was 2, but I don't know if Mario RPG: The Legend of Seven Stars.
I feel like they might actually do a sequel to that now, to be honest, since they did the remake.
You think so? I still need to play that one.
I was counting Mario plus Rabbids, although I don't know if there's going to be another game of that at this point.
Since
I don't think there will be.
Davide Solione, he just recently stepped down from Ubisoft, so people are saying that series is probably finished now. Which, I feel not necessarily. They could get somebody else to do it, but I don't know.
I feel like, because I also, like, I believe when Sparks of Hope came out, like, a few months, I think Ubisoft or some higher-up said they were disappointed with how the game performed.
Yeah, they're like, it didn't sell 20 million copies immediately, failure.
I've been skeptical about it since then, so...
Yeah, the reason the first game sold so well, because it was just, like, it was early in the Switch's life, so everybody was buying everything.
Early in the Switch's life, and it was a really new, weird concept with Mario, so people were probably very curious about it.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's also had a really long tail though, because it goes on sale a lot in a way that most Mario games do not. So people have kept buying it, throughout the entire Switch lifespan, and I hope Sparks of Hope, people still come around to it too, because I love both of those games a lot.
Oh yeah, I adore those games. I am planning to replay Sparks of Hope some point this year, because I haven't replayed it yet. I've only played through it once, and I haven't touched the DLC yet either. So I'm excited to see that too. But yeah, I'm excited to play that game again. Let's not get on to other games. Though.
Yeah, I could talk about Mario plus Rabbids also for like 3 hours.
I'll just title this, we're talking about all the Mario RPGs. It's not just TTYD. So, how about we talk about the story from Paper Mario Thousand Year Door? Courtney's already mentioned her favourite chapter. Mine is also the third, to be honest. What's your favourite chapter, Flips?
I believe, oh my god, I can't remember the game. It's the chapter where Mario becomes a shadow and has to team up with
chapter
Vivian.
4. Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's my favorite.
Also a good one.
I love that chapter.
That is a good one. That's the one where like people say that the backtracking was like the worst out of all the chapters in the original game, and that that pipe in the house that lets you go right back to Creepy Steeple.
Yeah, it was so convenient. I'm so glad I played this game.
That wasn't in the original. Oh boy.
Oh boy, I'm so sorry, you two. You had to suffer through that.
Yeah, I hope you like
Yeah.
running away from crazy daisies in the middle of the forest.
I only got one Crazy Daisy, or no, a Mazy Daisy, the rare one. I only got that character once. I was like, oh man. But,
So to a certain extent, like the backtracking in that chapter is like thematically relevant because there's a significantly different feeling of like, yeah, we're going there with the whole party and we're all this big group
It really
together.
hammers in
and
that
then
you're
you have
alone
to go
when
back.
you go back.
Yeah, and then
yeah,
and
that
then
was
just
creepy.
like
I was like, whoa.
the amount of difference of just having one singular friend when you go back with Vivian is like huge, and so that's like really powerful. Is showing the difference between Mario by himself and Mario with like one friend. Like just one friend can make all the difference in the world. But then, like, after that, there was even more backtracking that was just not necessary, so they kind of cut that out.
They just cut out the last loop, and that's fine by me. Like, that's enough of it. It made it much more tolerable. So was your mind blown by the twist at the end with that chapter with Dupless then? Flips.
Yeah, that cutscene was funny. He was like, oh,
Wait, why is the
how?"
camera still here? Ooh.
Yeah, it was like, I didn't realize it then, but it was like a shot-for-shot remake of when, Gourmet Guy from 64, when you feed him that cake. I was just like, oh, wait a minute, I've seen this before,
with the screen zooming in.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I love this so much. But yeah.
But yeah, all the chapters are like good in their own ways. First one's fun. It's got like a good character arc for Koops. So I've heard some people, I've heard at least one person mention about how they like kind of prefer the way that Origami King handled partners than Thousand Year Door, because like the partners in Thousand Year Door, they're good characters and they've got good personalities and stuff, but like a lot of them are like, okay, it's this chapter is my personal story. Yay, we've finished my personal story. Let's carry on going with you, and now I don't have any development anymore. But Origami King developed their partners and then said bye-bye afterwards, which is kind of feels a bit more impactful. But I do very much like the partners in this game as well, and of course since these ones are much more tied to various abilities that you have outside and inside a battle, it makes sense. It's just the thing I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, no, this has actually been a criticism of the game since like way back in the day that I remember people having is like, you know, the partners pretty much have their little arcs, and then you recruit them, and then they, you know, like a lot of RPGs, if you have a party, like the party over the course of the game might have little conversations with each other, like they continue to grow and develop and talk to each other and change throughout the course of the story, but in, you know, and the first game was like this too, really. I mean, that's just maybe a Paper Mario thing. It's just like, the partners are just kind of like there, and if you have them out, they say things, but they're not going to really like contribute.
They were still developing the idea.
Yeah, they don't really get the chance to talk to each other, the partners, either, apart from like on the brief like first encounter, perhaps. Then again, like I think it's like only Goombella when you meet Koops, and that's kind of it. And speaking of which, Goombella doesn't get an arc because she doesn't really have a chapter associated with her, does she? So, which is a bit unfortunate, but yeah, that's one thing that I like about Bug Fables, because you've got three characters, none of them are the partner, they're all just as important as each other, and they get to talk to each other just all the way through the game. So
I got a plushie of Leaf right here next to me. I really like Bug Fables.
I missed all the plushies that I'm interested in for that game, and then they're like, oh, it's the orange guy, and it's Mathiva, and I'm like, I don't care about those. I missed the main trio. I didn't get them in time. Sad.
Maybe they'll do another run of those someday.
Maybe.
I have never played Bug Fables, so like...
No? Oh, you need to play Bug Fables, it's so good.
Isn't that a Bug Fables podcast?
Yes.
I'll get it I'll grab it the next Steam sale.
If you play Bug Fables, we'll have a podcast about Bug Fables.
Okay. The to-do list, there's something I want to talk about music.
Oh,
I was going to talk about the story and the characters more.
Okay. Finish up. You guys finish up.
Slow down, we have like 2 hours.
Okay.
Alright, we talked about Chapter 1 a little bit. It's kind of standard. It's like your pretty standard, like, flowery fields and plains and castle and whatever. It's like, you know, not the most exciting thing in the world. But
Very similar to the first chapter of 64.
Yeah. How do you feel about Chapter 2? Chapter 2 is a bit divisive.
Chapter 2 at very least...
Punies.
The Punies. It's the Puny Tree and the weird monochromatic forest.
I liked it. I
Yeah,
thought the art style was really good.
Oh yeah,
like the
aesthetically...
music and the aesthetics just like...
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it's like the best looking chapter, to be honest, but like... It is like one of the more worst offenders of like going back and forth a bit, and I think the Punies are like less persnickety to like control and have around than they were in the original game.
Yeah, I also felt that way. They didn't fall off the tree as much, or like the platforms. I also think that just like the music in this chapter is improved so much because the original Puny theme was a little grating after a while, but they made it a lot better here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear the music evolve, which I think is cool.
I also, can I just mention in general the character voices in this game?
Oh yeah,
so
the
good.
little blips.
Like,
Oh yeah, that's great.
I love the little blips. They're so good.
Yeah, I really liked Punio's voice. He just sounds really cute. I think a lot of characters get a lot more personality just from having those tiny little voice clips.
I think it's like really clever. Like I think that the Punies, like they all have like a similar sounding voice but different pitches. I think, and that's like interesting, and that's a really cool thing that I don't. Not none of the other Paper Marios have done it. Like no, Origami King did that a bit because like you've got like most of the characters have one voice sound. Did Luigi sound different? I forget. Olivia sounded different, and like the Legion of Stationery, they kind of had different sounding voice blips as well. But like in this game, it's like everyone. Like if there's like a staple Mario species, the Koopas sound like Koopas, the Goombas sound like Goombas. But like the original characters, they get their own unique thing, and it gives the game a lot more personality, and I really like that.
Yeah, they even use it for humor value sometimes. Like when Frankie has to say "I love you" 100 times, like his voice gets notably more tired.
He gets like hoarse.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was funny.
And like when Flavio is really scared, his voice gets really high pitched. It's it's good.
But did they have unique voice lines in the originals?
No,
in the GameCube version. No,
it was all just like the same squeaky noise.
The same beep for everybody.
If I ever play the original, that's gonna be hard to go back to.
The original, it's gonna feel like a downgrade.
You play the original and you're just like, well, this is lame. We're just playing the remake.
Also, when I was playing Chapter 2, it was oddly the only time in the game where I felt like it would have benefited from like a little map system. I don't know if that was just me, because it was like it's a very complicated. Yeah, inside the tree, because there was like a lot of rooms.
I get lost in that tree like every time I play.
I think I got lost like twice.
That makes sense.
But that's it.
A lot of games, I kind of like. I kind of wish this was on the DS so there could be a map on the bottom screen. Dang it.
Yeah, but it's just like it doesn't. I never really got lost after this. It was just like. It kind of felt like I was playing Pikmin.
Well, you're not going to get lost in most of the game because most of it's just hallways back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's just an odd feeling. I was just like, man, I'm playing through this chapter. I kind of wish I had a mini map.
Yeah.
But, like I never had that feeling throughout the rest of the game. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just a weird observation.
And then there's Chapter 3, which is an excellent one. It's one of the two chapters in the game where it's like. It's kind of a visual novel a bit, in a way. It's like a lot more focus, like you're staying still a lot more, and it's a lot more focus on like just watching the plot unfold. Though this one is more interactive with the fun like different battles in the Glitz Pit, and that's fun. Obviously, for the more like story-orientated chapters, this one and also the train, you're gonna enjoy those chapters a lot more the first time than on repeat playthroughs.
I love the chapter pieces, but I've streamed the game 3 times now, in addition to having played it, multiple times before that, before I was a streamer. And as much as I love Chapter 3, it's always like, I feel like I can never convey it adequately when I'm streaming, because it's like, I'm not gonna like pretend I'm surprised at the plot twist or anything. I know what's gonna happen, but it's got so many great characters in it. It has a lot of like backstory, and there's a lot you can learn from just going out of your way to talk to different NPCs, like during your downtime when you feel like taking a break from battling. You can learn about the history of the Glitz Pit and like Prince Mush, and like the fact that Rockhawk tried to pull his cake trick on Prince Mush in the past, and just like all kinds of stuff like that.
I enjoy voicing Grubba because he's got a real fun accent of voice, son.
That's
Important
pretty
question.
impressive, honestly.
Important question for you guys. What did you guys name your Yoshi in this chapter?
Flavio.
Bertram.
You named your Yoshi Flavio?
No, but the first time I ever...
Did you get the yellow one, though?
No, but there's not a yellow one.
Oh, wait,
There
no,
isn't
it's not a yellow one. Oh, there isn't a yellow one, is there?
I know, that's a shame. I got the pink one this
I
time.
have that little... I have the little shaker charm that Muzz Yoshi made.
Yeah, so I never actually time it out. I just always roll with it and get a...
I didn't even know they changed colors.
They do. There's like 7 different colors or something that you can get.
I played through the cutscene like, okay, I just gotta hit the egg. I didn't know I had to wait.
Did you get the basic green one?
Yeah, I just got the green one. I didn't know that you could get different colors. I was like, what? Wait, how do you guys have different colors?
I had the red one the first time I played, and
like,
I've had the red one a few times after, so the red one is like canon in my brain.
I usually get the red one. Yeah, it depends on... It's the amount of time that's passed from when you get the egg in the first place to when it hatches. And you can, like, time it just right to get the colour you want. I made sure I got orange this time, because orange is very much my favourite colour. Take one look at my channel and you'll know that. But yeah, mine was named Bertram. What was yours, Flips?
Flipshy.
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 Yeah.
Flipshy.
And also, I'm sure you can guess what my favorite color is, so green was fine with me.
Green. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. That worked out nicely then. Yeah, that's a really good chapter. That's fun. Going over the chapters one by one, I suppose. I will mention, you know how when you get like a mystery call in chapter 3, and it's the theme of, I believe it's the Ice World from Super Mario Bros. 3 that plays as the ringtone. I remember...
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. When I first played through Thousand Year Door, I was much more into it when I first played it. And the spite grew later on as I interacted with more fans. But like I set my like phone ringtone as to when somebody I didn't know called me, it was that tune, and it like really creeped me out every time. I'm like, oh, because my brain had associated that with like it's some spooky, mysterious stranger.
I just
kind
of a random thing, but yeah. So I like the screen on the wall in the locker rooms, like how you interact with Grubba or Jolene are the GBAs, which that's how it was in the original. I'm just glad that there's like a lot of GBA references in this game that make it really feel like a nice time capsule.
Yeah,
they didn't take any of those out.
That's the era from when it came out. Obviously, it was GameCube and Game Boy Advance at the time, and I'm very nostalgic for the Game Boy Advance.
They could have made it a Switch or something, but no, they kept it as a GBA, and that makes me happy.
They kept that in Super.
They did add in like the GBA startup sound, which wasn't there originally. Whenever you use that, so that's neat.
Yeah, they continued that in Super because I think there was like a DS in the cooking shop.
Yeah, like that's how you choose the recipe.
Yeah, it was a DS. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, that's fun when they reference like the current handheld in like a home console game, like. Pokemon does that a lot, like when you've got like the console that the game is being played on in the...
Yeah, Pokemon's like the opposite.
Yes, are we just going to go through each chapter now before I move on to another chapter?
Yeah, we already kind of talked about chapter 4.
Yeah.
It's I've always loved chapter 4 just because it's so like
the
clever
vibe
and
is
a lot
the
of
best.
people.
In chapter 4, it has the best
I love
vibe.
atmosphere in games is something I always strive for, and I love it here.
I always like the Twilight Town people because they're kind of like little plushy people. If you look closely at them, they have like stitches, and sometimes they have like stuffing coming out.
I like Mayadawa's design.
And the crows who talk about current world events that are still relevant.
But yeah, I like chapter 4 a lot. That's got the best vibes. Vivian's a great character.
People love Vivian.
That's my favorite partner.
Good stuff.
She's good. I mean,
wait, what are your guys' favorite partner?
Oh, story-wise or utility-wise,
Flavio.
or just both.
Well, in the purpose of this discussion, we already finished talking about battles, so I guess character-wise.
Okay. It's racking brain. Do I remember them all? Yes.
You're really thinking about this, huh?
It's.
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you want to go?
You just say Flavio again?
No. Oh, okay. Flavio's my
technically
joke answer,
counts.
but Yeah, but anyway, I think personality-wise, it would be Goombella. I always, like, related to Goombella. I see myself in her a lot. And then,
I do like Goombella.
utility-wise, and, like, just backstory-wise, it would be Bobbery.
I like Bobbery a lot. I feel like it's either Bobbery or Vivian. I like them both a lot, and
Everyone's good, though. I love all of them.
Yeah, all of them have their good moments.
I used to not like Flurry. Because I was mad at her that she didn't want to help the Punies because she didn't want to go out without her necklace on. But, like, I don't know. Like, I got over it. I ended up liking her a lot more.
Yeah, I wasn't
over
as
time.
keen on her, and, like, Flurry, like, has by far the least story, kind of. I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose Goombella doesn't really have much either, but, like, Flurry's just like, oh, I'm in my house and I'm not doing plays and going outside. I've changed my mind suddenly. That's the arc.
You know, now that you're saying that, it's weird how certain moments in these games, if you have your partner out, they'll say something related to it, but it's exclusive for each partner, so you're never gonna know what each partner will say.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's, I guess,
but at the same time, sometimes you'll get someone who doesn't have anything interesting to say, and but like. I was on the topic of Flurry, like, I actually had her out a moderate amount because, like, she's kind of one of the funnier ones in the cutscenes, actually. Like, she, like, gets the most angry sometimes. I really like her angry
she can be kind of
face.
sassy.
Yeah.
She looks like she, like, Grubber walks in the room and we've just finished snooping at his papers, and she looks like she's really ready to throw hands with him when he comes in.
Oh, you just reminded me of a good moment of Flurry. You guys, in the Glitz Pit, you know how you get, like, sidetracked and you have to run back to the arena because you got, like, trapped somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Toilet.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have to go through the toilet,
Toilet.
to get back. I had Flurry out, and she said, "Oh my god, please don't make me do that again." I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons she grew on me, is she does actually have a lot of funny lines.
She's more adult as well. I mean, obviously, she's mostly not wearing any clothes.
I think they changed some text, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, because, like, it doesn't say she crushes enemies with her stage presence anymore.
R.I.P. kids who played this game in 2003.
There's a moment when Darkly, the one guy from Twilight Town who writes your names on your butt, and, like, she's not wearing any clothes, and she's like, and he writes her name on, and she's like, oh yeah, right there. Like, oh, I'm uncomfortable.
Oddly enough, that happens twice in the entire game.
What?
Yeah.
Remember the Peach segment where you drink that invisibility potion? Yeah, it's kind of weird, bro.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, there's some adult humor in this game, for sure.
Yeah, okay. Though, unfortunately, Flavio cannot watch Peach take a shower anymore. Sad time.
I know, yeah.
I remember that glitch. That was so funny.
Bless the fast travel room for existing, but it really did kind of break a lot of the sequence breaking you could do before. So if there's a way to do the Flavio glitch still, it would have to be, like, really different.
Glitch hunters are having a hard time with this game. They can't seem to break it that much.
Yeah. But you can mod it. I saw that there was a mod where someone
Oh
put
man, of course you
Flavio in
can
there,
mod
so-
it.
But it's not the same. The Flavio glitch was actually pretty easy to do. If I was
did
able
it.
to do
I remember
it, and I did
doing
it, yeah.
it like ages ago when I was playing the game.
You can. That's the reason to keep the GameCube version around
That's true.
And also,
and not sell it for like $1 million or whatever.
It's worth quite a bit.
Nintendo, please please add GameCube games to your eShop in any way, shape, or form, please.
Yeah. Also, this is just a really, really sidey side note, but, like, your, like, American GameCube, like, spines on the boxes, the logo is on the wrong side. Ours is on the opposite end. Like, yours looks, like, really upside down compared to everything else on the shelf with your GameCube boxes. It's weird.
Oh really?
I
I haven't.
It's a very sidey side tangent, but the European version is on the other side of the spine. And
So you think yours is better?
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Alright,
Yes.
Look it up.
Okay, well, our Mario and Luigi games are better because they don't put bros at the end of the
Yeah,
title.
that was stupid. I don't like that about the last two games that they did. That was dumb.
Do you think is it going to be Brothership Bros? Is that how they're advertising it?
I don't think so. I hope not, because that would sound especially dumb.
They called
Yeah.
it Luigi's Mansion 2 in Europe, and I'm just like, what? We got the cooler name in America.
Yeah.
Dark Moon.
I feel like it should have just been Luigi's Mansion 2, comma, Dark Moon or something. That would have made kind of more sense in the subtitle.
Comma Dark Moon.
I don't know.
and then they just changed it back to 2 for the Switch port, and I'm like, okay, we're getting off topic here.
If we're going chapter by chapter, there's chapter 5, which is Keelhole Key, which has Courtney's favourite character, all second favourite character in all of existence. And she, if you want to go and look at her essay that she wrote about Flavio, she has one.
Yes.
I will read it after this.
I'm proud of it. It's on you can find it on my Twitter at Altermentality.
It's well written. I read it earlier this morning when
you.
I brushed my teeth. It was good.
But yeah, I really like chapter 5 because I just love pirates and seafaring and all of that stuff. But I just think the idea of characters being stranded on an island together is always fun. You know, like, they're going to get frustrated because they're in a tough situation and they're going to be at each other's throats, but they have to learn to rely on each other. So I always just think that's a really fun setup. I will admit that I think the Pirate Grotto dungeon is boring as heck. It sucks, but everything else about the chapter I like, even though there's a lot of backtracking. Like, I just really like the setup of it and the characters and everything. And Cortez is great. I love Cortez.
They could have made Boat Mario a little faster. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
a slow little boat.
It was a bit slow.
But I like the puzzles in the chapter. I do think it's good. And oh my god, this is the part of the game where I sucked the most, because you know those Shine Sprite bricks?
Yes.
You can jump on? There were 2 of them, and I thought, oh, I can't reach them. I need to get, like, the super boots or something. No, I was just jumping in the wrong place. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Also, no, that reminds me. This game has some depth perception issues. I don't know about you guys.
I struggle with it.
Yeah,
I've played the game, lots of times, and I still struggle with it.
I was like, did I miss that jump? I can't see.
I stand by the 3DS's 3D effect being useful. I always loved that. And that's why Sticker Star is the best game in the series. I jest.
Yeah. There's just a couple moments in the game where I'm just like, I can't judge where I am. Like, there's not enough of a shadow.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But that's just a minor complaint.
I feel like chapter 5 is a great example of, like, the remake specifically, like, learning stuff from the past. This is something that I wanted to talk about, and I guess I can go into it now, but, like, say you were a Paper Mario fan who liked the first 2 games or the first 3 games, and then you just stopped playing the series after Sticker Star because you thought it was bad now or whatever. But if that was you, then you're not going to know, like, they've gradually just sort of learned and improved, like, how to make these games moment to moment, like, just really impactful using music cues and sound cues and just dramatic zoom-ins and stuff. Like, I don't know, I feel like they've really learned how to maximize the humor and also even the emotional value of the storytelling in, like, Origami King and even Color Splash, and they really took what they learned from making those games and brought them into TTYD. There's just a lot more, like, really fun stuff that they do with the music and the sound design and just little things like that. And Chapter 5, you really get a good example of that because they added a bunch of new music that just highlights the more adventurous feeling of the chapter. And I think it kind of reflects, like, the Chapter 4 of Origami King, where you're sailing all around the ocean, or Color Splash, like, had the pirate segment. Like, it really feels like they took what they learned from those parts and brought them in to tell this, like, original pirate story that they had and make it the best it could be. And then they have a lot of, like, little humorous bits, like Flavio is now associated with kazoos, and when he's with you on the island, there's kazoos in the background music, so it's just really great.
It's like with Yoshi, he gets, like, the drums out of the music. With Flavio, it's like, this is bad Yoshi. He's got kazoos instead. He exists to give Yoshi more back problems.
Oh, the poor baby.
Haven't felt this sorry for Yoshi since Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But yeah, Chapter 5 is pretty good, and Bobbery has, like, maybe the best partner story. Definitely, like, a tearjerker, and it's the kind of plot that, like, people who, like, have, like, a passing knowledge and interest of Mario, who, like, maybe haven't played the RPGs, or maybe not all of them, like, it's the kind of story that you would never expect Mario to tackle, and that makes it kind of... When, like, a more mature sort of story happens in something that's typically made and meant for kids, you appreciate it and like pay attention to it more. And that's definitely true with Bobbery, and it's also nice to have a little Mario and Luigi reference with the Chocola Cola there. So that's nice.
I remember playing TTYD when I was younger and being like, dang, man, a Mario game can't get sadder than this. And then I played Super Paper Mario and I'm like,
I cried multiple times to Super Paper Mario in several playthroughs.
Yep, me too.
Although Super Mario Galaxy with Rosalina's storybook.
Oh yeah.
I cried when the Lumas died at the end of Super Mario Galaxy, to be honest. And also the storybook. But like my friend Harry, we did a Let's Play of Super Paper Mario together on my channel. It's really funny to go watch it if you haven't. He really despises Love Bee and like wished for her death every second she was on the screen.
And well, good for him.
Yeah, he cheered so loudly when she died.
I am sorry for lying earlier, because in truth, I love thee both. She's dead! Yes! Yes! Would it interest you to know that when I first played this game, this made me cry? But you had sympathy for her? Yes. Why? She's horrible.
No, that's so terrible.
But then I revealed to him, like, you know, the first several times I played through Super Paper Mario, I cried when she died. And he was like, why? She's hateful. And of course, after I finished the game, I brought him back to the over there because she's randomly resurrected. And the no that escaped from his mouth was hilarious.
I was thinking about that. I was like, does he know?
Yes.
Does he know about the other one that you can buy after you beat the game?
I made sure to show him.
I bet he also hated Kirsty.
He hasn't played that. He's not.
Okay.
He's not. He doesn't play a lot of Mario games. And he only played that because I wanted him to do a Let's Play with me. Yeah. Okie dokie. Oh, but a side note, I did actually like Kirsty. I thought that having a partner who's kind of a dick is honestly really funny, and I liked that. Anyway,
I think I would have liked her more, but I feel like I've already encountered too many of that like specific character type in my time as a gamer. Like, there's a lot of like sassy sidekick type characters out there. So if that was like one of your early instances of that character trope, then I could see liking her. But
I feel like
by that time, it's like I
feel like she's like the only one that I've encountered, really. To be honest, I don't really.
Tattle in Majora's Mask is a little bit like that.
See, I haven't played through any Legend of Zelda games. That's the thing about that.
Wow, you're missing out, bro.
No, I played through RZ and the Jewel of Faramir just recently, which is a spiritual successor to the Zelda CDI games. And I played that before playing through any actual Zelda games, which I think is very funny.
I really want to play that game, though.
It's good.
Like,
I actually really enjoyed it.
What's the game called?
RZ, the Jewel of Faramir.
That is a mouthful. Can you type that out in chat?
Here, I'm going to.
Okay.
If you look this up, you can find it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you only need the...
You guys are giving me game recommendations. Thank you. Yeah, just increasing my Steam backlog.
Next episode, Flips will be telling us all about his new favourite game, RZ.
Heck yeah.
But yes, unless Courtney would like to say anything else about Flavio, we can move on to Chapter 6.
It's okay.
If
you want to know,
you want
to know more about Flavio, you can read my essay. But basically, the thesis is I think he's actually a very well-written character who goes through a character arc that I appreciate a lot, and he represents like the idea that we might not be perfect people, but we can at least improve a little bit and keep trying to improve a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a funny guy.
And, I love him. I love him. He's my favorite in the game.
He's a funny guy, and I do like his moment of bravery at the end of that chapter where he goes to face Cortez, and very gutsy negotiator, even though he's generally seen as being very cowardly, which was, impressive to see. Good character moment. Anyway, right, so chapter 6, that's the train, right?
Yes.
Yes, the Excess Express, which, by the way, most people don't realise this, but Mario Party 8 has a board called the Perplex Express, which I experienced that game before this game, so but that's an interesting, fun little reference.
Is it also a train?
Yes, it's also a train.
Yeah, it is.
It's a board called the
like
Perplex Express, and it's obviously like the name is too similar for it to not be a reference. Let's be honest.
Yeah, maybe it's like the evil version of the Excess Express. It's like the evil twin.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
it's just got a plot that's more confusing, so you're perplexed. Ooh. Anyway, but yeah, I think that this one is like maybe it's the only one that like gives chapter 3 a run for its money in terms of like my favorite chapters. But again, it's another one where it's like even more story focused and less doing things focused than chapter 3 was.
Yeah.
But I really like Pennington. I really like the mystery. Of course, like when it's like a mystery plot, it just gets much less fun on repeat playthroughs.
Yeah.
But it's a fun, really good chapter. At least at first, and the battle music is the best part of the whole game. Music in this
Absolutely.
chapter.
I agree.
Like, even though there's, like, 4 or 5 fights that you get to hear it in, like, I just, like, put my Switch down and dance to it. Like, okay, time to stop playing, time to dance to this music instead. It was just so good. Love it.
I like this chapter because it's basically an extension of Paper Mario 64 Chapter 7 with that murder case.
Yeah.
And I'm just
so
like, hey, wait a minute, this is like a
yeah.
better version.
It's
like
kind
more
of
involved.
interesting because the Paper Mario games, and this has been something that they've done throughout the entire series, is they kind of like to take the same concept that they've explored before, but just kind of explore it in a different way. But this was the first ever, time they got to do that because it was a direct sequel. So it's kind of interesting that they just decided to initiate that so early. So like chapter 3, it's like, what if there was a Clubba who had a dark secret and sort of ate people? And then like chapter 5 is like, what if there was an explorer who was a dumbass and was always getting himself into trouble or whatever? And then like here it's like, what if there were penguins but they were like bad at solving mysteries?
Yeah,
Chapter
pretty much
5.
exactly that.
And chapter 5 was like, what if we did another dungeon with a spooky ghost voice that told you to go away and it was really boring? Like in chapter 2 of Paper Mario 64. But anyway, yeah. Chapter 6 is a fun one. I like the vibes are great. And I love like the sunset in Riverside Station. That's really good.
I love the graphics.
Did anyone read the Toad's Diary and die?
Yeah, of course I saved.
Oh,
first.
I did. I read that. Oh, that was sad.
When I was first playing the game, that was the first time I had gotten a game over in the entire game, and I didn't expect it to happen. So I remember I lost a lot of progress.
Oh,
yeah.
that sucks.
I mean, because these games are generally pretty easy. Like the Mario RPGs are mostly just like baby's first RPG. It's interactive now, but it's also generally way easier. So you don't tend to expect to die.
I think that's the first chance you get to have like a dialogue-based game over. Super Paper Mario has a lot of them,
Yeah, it
which
has
is really
several
funny.
of
But
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a game over before you get to control Mario in Super Paper Mario.
Yeah.
I think TTYD only has this one, and then at the very end, when you can choose to say that you want to serve the Shadow Queen. I think those are the only two that there are.
No, I don't think there's any of those. No, Super Paper Mario was very funny. You can like, I can't be bothered to save the world. No.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it.
I paid like 40 quid to buy this game. Don't want to play it. No.
Look, man, Mario as a character has been through so much. I don't blame him for wanting to take a break.
Somebody else gonna do it this time. But yeah, that's a cool chapter. People were thinking that maybe, because like apparently there was original plan to have some plot about Beldam being the one who released the Smogs, and giving a little bit of explanation to their existence and not just having them randomly be there. And some people thought maybe they might write that back into the game with the remake, but they didn't. And I kind of feel like though like extra bits to the story would have been interesting to like give a bit more context to things to here and there, could have made the remake more interesting to play for people who played the original. I do think the Smogs kind of work better when they're just like a mysterious weird swarm of little creatures, and that kind of makes you more creeped out by them, because I love the atmosphere. If you wake up on the train, it's like weirdly quiet, you look around, there's nobody there, and then there's suddenly this huge panic as you try and take on this massive swarm that seems just undeal-withable. That was a word.
Yeah, I agree. I like them just being this weird, inexplicable thing. Like, not everything that Mario encounters on his adventure has to, like, tie in directly to the plot. Like, there's just weird stuff out there in the world.
It reminds me of Fuzzies.
Yeah, well, they do look a lot like Fuzzies, they do. But whereas Fuzzies, like, have some dialogue and are, goofy more than scary. Apart from, like, a couple of levels in Super Mario 3D World where there's, like, a big, massive ocean of them that you gotta run away from. They were freaky then. But, was that reference secured by anybody?
No, I got you.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, cool, yeah, good.
I'm looking at footage of Chapter 6. Remember that rich family with the kid?
Oh, the Wayne.
Yeah, the Bob-ombs?
Yeah, I'm just now seeing them again. Those parents are weird, man.
I love Bub. That's the name of the little Bob-omb kid.
Yeah.
He's so cute, and just the fact that
Hasn't he got like a really cute
loves trains.
Yeah, he's got a really cute little voice blip, I think, and
it's just like a cute little Bob-omb voice.
With the extra animations and expressions of the characters, Bob has when he gets excited, he leans forward and gets his fuse lights, and it's like, I love the little extra animations that the characters got. But yeah, so after that there was Chapter 7, which was Far Outpost, and then the moon. Were you expecting us to go to the moon, Flips?
Honestly, no. I did not expect to go to the moon. I was just like, oh, we're big.
This chapter got cut down a lot.
Take that, Super Mario Odyssey. You were not the first Mario game to do this.
Yeah, I know people were always like, oh, Super Mario Odyssey, you get to play as Bowser, and it's like me who's been playing the RPGs for like 2 decades. Like,
Literally true. No, that's me playing Smash Bros. I'm like, really?
Yeah. But, so this chapter used to be pretty infamous because going around and finding General White and having to go to all these places and just missing him was like, used to be a lot more of a pain when you had to go all around to the Rogueport Underground to the different warp pipes, funny. But now it's just centrally located. It's a lot faster.
It's funny how when there's some people online who are like, TTYD is the best game ever, it has no flaws, and then people just reply with an image of General White and they get PTSD.
Poor General White.
True.
But
playing this chapter.
When I am like personally the kind of person who finds like hostile game design can be like really funny sometimes when the developers are like, you know what, screw you player, I'm gonna make you have no fun on purpose. Like in Super Paper Mario, I'm gonna make you do slave labor where you just hold right for 10 minutes. And,
I remember that.
And I
remember playing. I was like, wow, such a great gameplay.
in Mario the Lost levels, I'm gonna make warp zones that take you back to World 1, and you can just. I honestly don't get mad. I just laugh. I think it's hilarious.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think there's something very fun about a game doing that sort of thing. Like, obviously, if it goes too far, it can be annoying, but, like, I don't know, it just feels like a friend who's, like, playing a prank on you or, like, joking with you or something. It just feels like very, like, they're just having fun with the player, but they're, like, kind of laughing with us. I don't know. Like, they like, the designers have to have known it was ridiculous, and that's, what makes it funny.
The game, I feel like the game is very self-aware about how annoying the whole thing is. Because, like, the people that you go to talk to try and find him, like, they, like, notice on Mario's face he's getting increasingly more annoyed. It's like, oh, he went over here. He was here, but he went over there, and, like, what's with that look? It's like, just imagine like Mario seething.
Early example of this was, like, in Earthbound, there's a part where you have to, like, just stand there and wait for 2 minutes to get into, like, some secret hideout. Like, that's just the intended solution. And so, like, this kind of stuff has been around, and I appreciate it, usually.
Yeah, it's kind of like that one moment where, like, when you go on board a ship, there's one of the members looks exactly like what's the lower in command Grotus guy?
Oh, Crump, Lord Crump.
Yeah, Lord Crump. And then later, when you get stranded on an island, he walks around and then he stops and then he says, "Hey, you! I know who you. I know you know who I am. Don't say anything." And then he walks away. I'm like, I thought that was hilarious.
That is funny. Well, yeah, breaking the fourth wall it's a commonly enjoyed joke. Super Paper Mario did it quite a bit as well when they like referenced a being from another dimension will be able to understand this. which is pretty fun as well.
Oh yeah. Playing chapter it was chapter 7, right? The ice outpost.
Yeah.
Oh, it almost tricked me because then I walked into one of the rooms. I'm gonna post a picture in chat.
Alright.
I legit thought that character was a Bombette.
Yeah.
I was just like, Bombette, you're back! I was like, oh wait, no, I'm wrong.
Oh, it's a shame because like I think apparently they have like the sprites for the original partners from the game in the code for the original Thousand Year Door. So they were apparently planning to like have them in the game, but like, and that would have been another nice little thing that they could have just added to this game and actually put them in. Because as of now, there's only Parakarry and Lady Bow. At least I assume that she's still there. I haven't been back to check.
She is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
There's also
she actually makes a funny little face when you talk to her. You should go talk to her.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I think there's another reference with that. I don't know if you guys ever bothered with this side quest. The chipmunk looking dude. If you give him like a lot of money, he'll like go out. He'll go
talks
to like
all about
out.
like Colorado and
I got that. I was like, this is the coolest fan service moment in the game for me,
know,
because I was just like, oh, that's so cool.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that because when he appeared,
oh, you didn't.
When he appeared at Roguepot, I didn't have like nearly enough money to pay him. I was kind of skint at the time, so I'm like, no, I can't do that, buddy. Sorry. So is there a cool thing that happens if you do pay him then?
Yeah, he has this like really long story about him going to Dry Desert and meeting a lot of the characters there from the first game. So.
Oh, and is that new to this version as well?
Nope. He's always had it.
I think it was in the original, but like that's a 64 player who loves that game to death. That was some good fan service.
Oh, shame. Oh, okay. Every few minutes, I'm just like thinking to myself, oh, I wonder what the next Paper Mario game's going to be like. Because like, I love it with Mario RPGs when they like have continuity like that, when they reference the old game, all the entries in the same series with returning characters and stuff. Mario and Luigi always did it best. Like they always had like a lot of returning original races from the previous games and characters, and of course Forful's whole character arc and stuff. But like, it'd be interesting to have a new game that like actually references characters and events from both halves of the series. Could be interesting.
Well, Origami King kind of did that.
Yeah, no, I remember that with the Princess Peach and all the stick. I feel like that's the one thing that they were like allowed to do in referencing the old games. But it does make me happy to see Super Paper Mario's Square Clouds.
Yeah, so like the things in TTYD, you got the Chocola Cola, which is actually only a localization thing.
Oh, is it?
That they decided to put in. Yeah, originally it's just like wine or something. It's but then ostensibly like Podley and the other like juice bar guy from Glitzville are Beanish people.
Clearly Beanish, yeah.
Never like stated outright, but like it looks pretty obvious to most people. So.
But yeah, there's also the Moon Base, which I feel like
banging music.
The music, dude. I listen to that music when I wake up for work. I'm driving to work. I'm like, oh yeah.
What, you mean the just general bass music or the battle?
Both are good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of, honestly, just the Far Outpost, the ice area music. I think that battle theme is really, really good, to be honest. I think that one and the train battle themes are my favourites.
Fun fact, originally the Bob-ombs in Far Outpost were like explicitly like Russian coded, but they kind of took that out, maybe due to current events.
I kind of got that vibe, but then I realized they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I mean they still kind of, I guess, look that way, but they did actually say like da and stuff before.
Yeah, I felt like that was toned down. I think that there's still some of it remaining, but
yeah, I think they kind of like are implied to have maybe that sort of accent or speech pattern, but they don't actually use any Russian words or anything.
No, Russian is a voice I can do.
It reminds me of the game Punch-Out on the Wii. If they dare release that game today, it would definitely cause controversy if you played it.
I haven't played it.
I think most of it's kind of cool, like all of the different languages that are spoken in this game, and it makes just Rogueport and the surrounding areas feel really diverse. The funny thing is that like sometimes like Dupree, like the French guy who's always hitting on people, he is supposed to be American originally. But, in an English localization, it wouldn't have made as much sense, so they made him French instead. I guess they were going for, like, the Pepe Le Pew type of thing. But if you look at his outfit, he definitely looks a lot more like he was supposed to be like ostentatious.
Yeah, he looks like he's from.
American.
He looks like he's like a performer in Las Vegas or something.
Yeah, he looks like he's a Elvis imitator or something.
But yeah, it's cool to have like little bits of languages reference. That's cool. Although I assume that it makes it a bit harder for like localization when it's actually in those countries. To have it be carried over. But yeah, then there's the base, and then there's sad tech that supposedly dies but randomly comes back Loveby style after the game, which is a bit strange. I don't know how. What? Didn't base explode?
I mean, I guess there was like a little backup of tech running in like the warp room.
Yeah.
I figured that the whole base was just exploded, though, is the thing.
I mean, computers will still survive. I mean, they can't really... I don't know how this works.
But the base was unexploded after the game, is the thing I'm saying.
Well, like, again, like what she said,
they rebuilt it.
There's a little base. Oh yeah, just rebuild the moon base. Easy.
Like, I suppose, like, if things are, like, connected to the crystal stars, then they can come back. Like, Prince Mush was very fully dead and came back, I suppose. So, I don't know, maybe the crystal stars went, you know what, Tech, you get to come back. And poof, base has returned. Perhaps.
If we want to bring Tech back, we have to bring the whole base back, so...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A little fun thing I did, well, whenever I was in those speech intermissions talking Tech, I'm just like, okay, ChatGPT.
Okay.
Because I was just like, this is, I'm just like, I'm reading his text, I'm like, this is literally ChatGPT. Yeah, ChatGPT, take my data.
No.
Let's dance, take all my dance
Peach
moves.
is training the algorithm with
Exactly.
her dance
I'm just like, oh man, this is ChatGPT in 2003?
Yeah. It got a much less favourable outlook on AI nowadays than back then when it wasn't really a threat to anyone. But yeah, we go through that, we fight Crump again, he gets blasted off into space, but then is also fine after the events of the game. Which makes me wonder what if he came back as the main villain in the next game, Forful style? Ooh.
You just,
Man,
when you said that,
so
I
great.
immediately thought of Fopple, and then you said it, and I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Because
that would be good. Nope.
That was a cool thing with Forful that I would also like to see them do with Midbus, because he was, I think that he's still alive, just like frozen.
I miss Midbus.
Yeah, Midbus, that'd be fun if he just followed in his master's footsteps there and was the main villain of another game, but obviously not this game by the looks of things. But
I think that was at chapter 8, right?
Yeah, we got the Palace of Shadow. I just wanted to mention Dupless real quick because he appeared in the train. He appears here as frankly tricking you. I like Dupless a lot. Dupless is a great character. I like giving him sort of a New Yorker accent, slick. I like that. I just got a soft spot for him because I used to draw like a pixel art comic series called Evil Is Our Hobby with Dupless, Forful, and Dementio, and Dupless was like the prankster of the group and annoyed the other two, which is always funny.
Dupless has a banger battle theme.
Like a big favorite from this game. He's just, I don't know, he's just got that like evil but in a fun prankstery way thing that I think appeals to people, and he's just really cute.
Honestly, if they're gonna bring any character back in a future Paper Mario game, I want Dupless back, dude. I think that he's really fun. Like, even if he's like a good guy now, that could be interesting. I think that having a Dupla Ghost partner would be could be really creative.
I always wanted Dupless and Mimi to meet the shenanigans of never being able to tell who is who.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
They'd get up to so many.
Oh, you're cooking with that one. What character would I want back? I don't know. I'd probably be like, I want Huey coming back.
Yeah, Huey. I'm a bit sad. Like, I mean, the modern games, they obviously weren't really allowed to reference the older ones, but like, I was sad that they didn't even really reference each other very much. Like, when I was playing Color Splash, I was hoping Kirsty would make an appearance, because I'm like one of the 2 people on the planet who likes Kirsty or something, and I was disappointed that she didn't show up or anything. And like, when they made Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, it was like, I mean, everybody's annoyed that it's like only a crossover with Sticker Star, but like, even as that, it's still a bad crossover with Sticker Star. They could have at the very least had Kirsty there as well, so you've got a partner from both series, and it's not just Starlo talking to herself the whole game with the brothers only being able to speak in gibberish. Anyway, side tangent again. I don't like paper
Whatever
jam.
you do. Whatever you do, don't mention the line. It is no longer possible to modify existing Mario game
That's
characters.
a load of garbage. It's definitely
I know,
possible
right?
now.
I remember when that interview came out, it was the stupidest thing I've read.
That's so stupid.
Anyway, we're getting off topic, guys.
It's definitely possible now. I'm sure of it now.
Yeah,
to be honest.
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, then the last chapter, there's not a lot of story to talk about, to be honest, really. You're just kind of going through a really big castle. Anyone?
Oh yeah, you fight Bowser one last time, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah, his battle theme is really, really good. That's a really good boss theme.
Yeah. You know what? I actually forgot to mention. Since I never really played this game, when I saw Bowser, I was caught off guard how much like his voice actually sounds like a voice than the usual rawr sounds. He's just like he actually has kind of a voice in this.
I forget exactly how it sounds. It's been a few weeks since I've played it.
Ah, okay. But yeah, that was just something I noticed. I thought it was cool.
But yeah, not much to say about the last chapter, really. Any of you got any observations about that chapter before I move on to other things to talk about the game?
The final moment where you're like all the people that are wishing to help you out. I was just like,
cool.
yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I remembered this is kind of like the same thing in 64.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty, like, common thing with a big climactic moment, especially in an RPG. Like, there's always some excuse for it to show the characters throughout the world that you've helped cheering you on, and I always just think that's really nice.
So it can, like, come
heartwarming
satisfying full circle. Here's all the beloved characters you enjoyed.
Yeah, it's still nice. I just feel like I've seen this before.
I like that when it kind of just cuts back to the battle and there's just a bunch of speech bubbles popping up. You can kind of tell what characters they are because the characters in this game tend to have such distinct speech patterns and stuff. So like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Though I must say, in the original game, when I played the original game, I mean, most of the game's very easy, and I didn't really notice at all. The Shadow Queen, when I first played the game, I lost to like 3 or 4 times, maybe even 5.
Wow.
And since in the original game you had to watch the whole entire bunch of cutscenes before the fight every single time, and that made that part of the game less enjoyable for me, definitely. But
that was me with like the original
game,
Kingdom Hearts back in the day.
In this game, you can just start the fight again, so that's good.
Yeah.
If you do die,
Games with
which I did.
unskippable cutscenes.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad we're past that for the most part.
You need to be able to skip cutscenes. But yeah, I want to just mention like because in the battles there was what sort of experiments did you guys do with badges? Because something that I used for the badges, I mean, normally people are like, oh, let's just put like attack up and stuff, and they're like, that's a really boring strategy. Do something funny. And I put on Sleep Stomp, and apparently it was actually way buffed in this game from the original game. And the original game, like, every time you attacked a sleeping opponent, they like had a chance to wake up. But this time they're like just completely asleep until the turns are over. So like I used it to like completely and utterly embarrass several bosses in the game. Rawkhawk fell asleep on his first turn and did not get to act until I had won. And it was kind of really funny.
Oh, Sleepy Bird.
That was really funny. I'm like, you deserve this. And all the people in the audience are probably very bored at that fight.
Yeah. For me, like, every level up, all I leveled up was badge points. I'm not even joking. Every single level up, I just leveled up badge points. Because you can get, like, HP and FP up badges. Yeah. So I just use those.
A lot of people do that, and... I mean, there's a guy you can go to that can change it later on if you regret it as well, so...
Yeah, I probably did the most boring strat, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like...
Sorry,
how can I play this game in a stupid, funny way?
Yeah, whenever I play 64 or TTYD, I probably will replay this game again, I always just go for the most powerful strats.
That's boring. Why
I
don't
know
you want
it's
it to
boring.
be
I should
funny?
shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, I was boring too. I mean, one day I'd like to do some sort of weird challenge run, but because I was streaming it and I really just wanted to enjoy the story, so I just kind
Yeah.
of kept it pretty straightforward.
That makes sense. When I was playing Origami King recently, I was like, I'm just going to use the basic hammer and jump for the whole game. And like once I got to chapter 2 and the battles ended up taking way, way longer, everybody needed like 2 or 3 attacks to beat them. I'm like, no, screw this. This is just really, really boring. It takes way longer for no reason. Never mind. But yeah.
So I don't have a lot to say about chapter 8 itself, but I do want to just mention the ending. I just really like the ending of this game. I think it's kind of, sad when everyone has to say goodbye, but I do appreciate that it has an actual post game, which the first Paper Mario game did not, but this game and Super Paper Mario do. So you do get to go back, and it is recognized that you saved the world. And when you talk to NPCs, they're like, "Hey, what a hero!" Like they know what you've done, and it's cool. And the credits in this game were really nice, real huge step up from the original, which were kind of boring.
Yeah.
We love parades.
Was the original just like a bunch of silhouettes?
Yeah, it was just kind of a bunch of silhouettes like walking.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, but yeah, this was much better. I'm always so annoyed when games that you finish don't stay finished. Like, I did the big dramatic ending of the game. Finally, I wonder what the characters' response is to me saving the day. I've been reset to before I did it. That's not fun.
I mean, it makes sense sometimes because I guess if you save the world, then the world would be in like a peaceful state where there wouldn't be any enemies to fight or anything.
Yeah.
So for some games, context that makes sense. But for others, they can write around it or work around. Like, I always thought SPM was especially impressive because you end that game without Tippy, but they do give you a way to sort of replace her.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It's nice to be able to talk to Complex minions afterwards as well, and that's fun.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, for me, the easy solution is just to add because I don't think TTYD has this a battle medley where you can refight all the boss fights. It doesn't have that, does it?
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because that's one thing. Because having I like when games continue after you beat them. Like, hey, you're in the state where everything's good. But the other thing is some games. I remember when I was playing Super Paper Mario, I beat it. I was just I want to fight the final boss again. That fight was awesome. The music was such a banger. I went to that place again, and I was like, oh, there's nothing here. I'm like, are you serious? I can't fight that thing yet?
Well,
that was such a
make
cool
sense,
fight!
but-
Did you ever, in Super Paper Mario, did you ever go to, what was it, the cafe
The
place?
100 Pit of Trials?
No, did you ever go to the cafe place and, go to, the jukebox guy and try and get one of your favourite songs again?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't do that.
Okay, I probably wasted a lot of money as a kid trying to get, Mr. L's theme up on the jukebox, to be honest. Because you can't choose it, it's random. That's such a weird addition into the game. Yes,
Yeah,
Nintendo was
King had,
we
a
won't
boss
we
refight.
won't release our music on Spotify, but there's a jukebox in Super Paper Mario where you can listen to a random song. This is good enough, right?
Yeah, we're gonna make you plug headphones into your Switch so you can listen to Smash Ultimate's soundtrack. Here's a video of a girl literally plugging in headphones into her Switch and walking off listening to music.
Yeah, just put your Switch in your backpack and stick your
Yeah.
headphones in there
I'm like,
and
who
just walk
does
around.
this? It's funny, it feels ironic, because I unironically remember listening to music through my 3DS back in the day. I was listening to Dream Team music.
Oh, I love Dream Team. So
I remember falling asleep to Adventure's End,
Aw.
because that music is awesome.
I can't
But,
fall asleep with music going on, and my brain does not let me do that.
Okay, we're
But
getting off track
actually
again.
with Smash Ultimate, the feature where you can put together a playlist of the music and then you can have it play in sleep mode. I'd when I still live with my family and there was a nice rural path I could go on a run on, I just actually use that feature with my Switch and listen to the music from Smash Bros as I went on a run. With the Joy-Cons in my hand as I'd run along, and that's kind of that's just a silly thing that I could do before.
Yeah.
But yes, shall we go? everybody's favourite character? I glance at Courtney knowing the answer.
Didn't we just
Well,
say
I can
this?
talk about my second favorite. FlipZ, you can go first.
Oh, I thought I said this already. It's Vivian. That's my
Alright,
favorite
alright.
character.
Yay!
Yeah,
Good choice, good choice.
Vivian, best girl.
So I like Vivian too, but so my favorite is Flavio, you know that. But my second favorite is Grubba, because I think he is one of the most interesting, fascinating villains in all of Mario history. He is both a terrible person, but also just sort of perpetuating these toxic systems of celebrity status and fear of aging and irrelevance that he has become caught up in. And I just think his design is great. I think Macho Grubba's design is great. I think the whole story there is fantastic, and I've just kind of always been obsessed with his story since I was a kid. I also like Rockhawk a lot because he is not a complex villain, but I just really love his design. He's just
funny.
a fun, like, bully heel type of character, and he's one of the most fun characters to draw in the whole game. He's just got a great design. His birds are fun, and he's got great hair, you know. But there's just so many characters in this game I love. It's just full of them. Like, there's so many that have, like, more depth than is apparent on first glance. So it's just an endless amount of stuff to think about, really.
This game does have a very good cast of characters, but I kind of want to just say Bowser. Bowser's kind of just always my favourite in the Mario RPGs because he's always so very funny. And I love his dynamic with Cammy Cooper, and they're both very...
Yeah, I miss Cammy. I would love to see them bring Cammy back.
Oh, absolutely.
I do miss Cammy, though I do really like Kamek in the modern Paper Mario games, to be honest. Especially in Origami King. He's a really good character in Origami King.
I agree, but I'd like to see them both maybe and have them be, like,
That could be
fighting with
interesting.
each other.
That'd be interesting.
It could be like mother and daughter.
Well... What? Kamek is a boy, you know that, right?
Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. Why did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry. I think... Sorry, I got it mixed up with another fanfiction.
I love Kamek as a character, and I want to see more of him because he's basically Bowser's adoptive father, in essence.
Yeah.
And we kind of get to see a bit of that with like him acting as like a granddad to Bowser Jr. in Origami King, and that's something
Yeah,
I'm
that
really...
was so sweet.
I loved that, and he's like, I carried you like this when I was a baby, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I wouldn't-
something similar in Partners in Time, too.
With actual him and Bowser.
Yeah.
But like, I would love to see more of that with him and like just have the three of them be like granddad, dad, son, trio. That could be really fun. But like Kammy Cooper as just like an assistant, and Kamek is like they have like a very similar like the same amount of authority, and that I could see them bickering a lot, to be honest. But I'm curious how that would go if they were both in the game.
I think you kind of already got your answer, because in like Paper Jam, the two Kameks would argue a lot.
I suppose. I don't like thinking
Especially
about Paper Jam.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for bringing it up.
It's funny because, like, mechanically, Paper Jam is, like, maybe even the best Mario and Luigi game, because the battles are really, really fun in Paper Jam. But, like, even as somebody who actually really likes Sticker Star, I just Paper Jam and its story hurts me. I honestly think Sticker Star is way more interesting than Paper Jam is.
Paper Jam is the one Mario RPG that I have not played, and I want to play it soon, just so I can say I've played all of them. But
yes, it's good in a lot of ways. It's got some interesting ideas. The Paper Toad missions are miserable and stop all momentum.
I like the Paper Toad missions.
Oh,
I'm sorry for being that guy. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things I liked about Paper Jam that everybody else hates.
Paper Jam is just Journey to Bowser's Castle featuring a million inconveniences. It's so annoying. That's the plot. That is the plot. Anyway, we're
not wrong.
We're gonna have a video about Paper Jam some other day. Let's talk about the music for a little while, because the original Thousand Year Door had very good music, but I would honestly say that I think that the modern Paper Mario games have better music than the original three Paper Mario games, and I feel like that's That's less of a spicy take than saying that you like all of the games, because I think that Paper Mario is a series where even though the quality of the games has been very shaky and very up and downy, the music has always been excellent. And
Yes,
honestly,
I agree completely.
I would honestly say that Sticker Star might non-ironically be my favourite soundtrack of the series. But I think that Thousand Year Door really benefited from like having a similar musical vibe to the new games, and I really love that they gave each chapter and area like a different battle theme, and that really helps things not feel stale. Because I love it when RPGs do that. Octopath Traveler games do that. Origami King did that. I don't think that Color Splash did it, or Sticker Star, but it's just a very good thing, because like if you're just listening to the same battle theme through the whole game, you get kind of tired of it, to be honest, even if it's really good. And this was a very good thing about the game that made it feel a lot less stale.
Yeah, like so my spicy take is that as much as I love TTYD, I would say that it had the least strong soundtrack in the series. It had a lot of great music, don't get me wrong. There's always been really good songs in this game, but there were some that I just thought were boring or maybe even got a little grating pretty quickly, like the Puny theme that I mentioned earlier. And overall, I think every song that I felt was boring in the original, they at least spiced it up, they extended the loop, they added more complexity, and just made the soundtrack so much better overall, in addition to adding like entirely new music, like the character themes and just different music that plays at certain points in the story. Like not only do like the partners get their own themes, but like Don Pianta has a theme now, and like there's a theme, like Flavio's song actually has his stupid little kazoo song, and like
Really?
So like there's just the soundtrack went from being like pretty good to phenomenal in my opinion. And
Absolutely.
I know some people don't necessarily like all of the new interpretations of the music, but I can't really say I had any major complaints. There were just a couple things that I liked certain elements of the original songs more, but overall it's a big improvement.
People said that one of the more out there change was the Glitz Pit. And before it was just like very happy, bouncy, doodle-doo-doo, 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 and now it's more like that original melody is now kind of in the background of the song, and now they're more favouring like a sort of Chinesey sounding. Oh, what's the name of the instrument again? I forget.
Erhu.
Oh, I think you told me about that
Erhu.
actually on Twitter. And
Yes.
R-E-R, that's like the Chinese word for two. She's got two strings. But yeah, yes, I learned Chinese for a little while a few years ago. I've forgotten almost all of it.
Oh, nice.
I've forgotten almost all of it.
I think it's interesting because Glitzville already had that theme like visually, but it wasn't represented in the music at all. It was always supposed to be like Chinese inspired.
It looks kind of
it's more obvious in
Chinatown-ish.
Japan. Yeah, like in Japan it's called Oolong Town, and it's supposed to have that like Chinese feeling to it, but that wasn't obvious in the music, and so they did bring that into the forefront, and it definitely took some getting used to, but it like really grew on me. I just think having that melody in the like main Glitzville area, it's just a very nice melody, and it makes it sound like it's a place where you'd be having fun. It's a place where dreams can come true. I don't know. It's cool. I like it.
It brings to my mind Autumn Mountain, which is the cheat code to making Georgia happy.
Yeah,
I was
Autumn
going to
Mountain's
mention
great.
that. Yeah, the since I can't really relate to what you guys think since I didn't play the original. But when I listened to the Glitch Split, it reminded me of like what you said, George, Autumn Mountain, and also the little, I forgot what that place was called. The little amusement park that you go to in Origami King.
Oh yeah,
Shogun Studios.
Shogun Studios, yeah. Oh my god, those two themes. Oh, those themes give me life.
Origami,
Yeah.
And I can.
Yeah, they.
Those two.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
It's hard in these calls to not talk over people.
Yeah, I'm bad at this.
Yeah, I think that in Origami King, Autumn Mountain is like actually my favorite chapter of any Paper Mario game. Actually, I vibe with it so tremendously, and it looks really, really good. And I'm excited to like have like the story and characters akin to the old Paper Mario games, but like with the sort of big, really good world of Origami King, because Origami King really nailed it, and it was just so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music is very good. I really like the unique battle themes, like you mentioned. Also, the partners now have all their own themes, and that's really awesome. Though I mentioned before, the partners all like they have their own little arc, and you hear their theme like maybe once, maybe twice, and then that's kind of it. Unfortunately, they're really good when you do get to hear them. So I let those cutscenes like linger for a while, so I could give it a good listen. I like especially like one that I remember especially was Koops' theme, and like it's like the Petalburg theme. But it's
really
like
cool how they,
really
like, built off
determined
this
and
stuff,
hopeful
you know?
now, rather than just being like kind of chill, and I really like that.
Yeah,
I love it when
they built off of like other musical elements that were already present in the game that
I love
are
it.
important to these characters.
I love it when they like reuse motifs to remind you of certain things in games.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Always
Love that.
cool. Yes. So, is that everything you want to say about the music?
I think
I mean, I do appreciate that you can like listen to the songs in game too.
yeah, I was gonna mention
Once
that.
you get all the shine sprites in a chapter.
Of course, it would always be better if Nintendo just like actually released the music on things you can actually
Yeah.
listen to it on. But oh well, it is nice, I suppose.
I think the president of Nintendo made a statement about releasing their music on streaming platforms, but it was like the most nothing statement ever.
I think they just said, "We're aware people like our music." End of statement.
Literally. Yeah, literally.
Speaking of unlockables, the concept art is also kind of crazy to see as the fan for being, you know, as a fan for like almost 20 years, the fact that they just were like, oh, we're gonna put some of our original concept art in this game now, and then finding out that like Flavio is almost just a toad originally, it's like,
Wait
it's
a
like
minute.
mind blowing. I'm like,
Wait, there was
still
concept art in
recovering.
this game? I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you get all the shine
Wait,
where do you
sprites in an
unlock
area,
that?
I think.
You have to
shine
get
sprites?
all of the actually
Or was it the star pieces?
star pieces. Yeah, the shine sprites is for the
Oh.
soundtrack, and the concept
Oh my
art
God.
you have to get all the star pieces.
Of
So it
course
takes some
they-
work for sure.
They're not easy to
Oh,
find.
I didn't know that because I didn't think the original had concept art, so I didn't bother to go for 100% in this.
Yeah, that's a new
You can
thing.
just like look it up online.
I
really,
know.
if you-
It's weird saying that because I 100%ed Origami King, so I got to see all the concept art.
I
Oh
will
my God.
never 100% Origami King. Shy Guys finish last is too stressful. I hate
I
it.
don't blame you. Don't go for it.
I don't want to.
I always 100% the most painful games.
Yes,
Like,
how
I
can we
100% in Color
maximize
Splash,
the
and that was a
suffering?
nightmare.
But yeah, that is a cool part. I haven't seen much of the concept art because the star pieces are hard to find.
I'm just looking it up, bro.
But
I think my favorite of the concept art though is just like the original drawing of Grubba because he looks exactly the same. So it's like I think it's funny when like they didn't have any other drawings, so it kind of just implies they just drew him, and like the first time they drew him, they were like, yeah, this is perfect.
yep, perfect.
This is him.
It's
That-
like
Yep,
that-
no notes.
it's like
There
that
we go.
It's like that post about how Shy Guy has undergone zero like character
Yeah.
changes because he was perfect
He is
on the
he is
start.
without flaw.
Yeah.
I could hurt you, but the worst I could do is increase this game's age rating.
Oh yeah. I've already put you in jail. There's not much I can do without increasing the game. That's
I
funny.
love that line from Color Splash.
That's very funny.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the concept art right now. This is so cool.
But like, actually, that's like even more funny in retrospect because like I mentioned this in my review video of Origami King, and they in that game they imprisoned Bowser's minions, and then they like tortured them and turned them into folded soldiers, and they're like, oh well, look, they've imprisoned people and then done more things to them, and lo and behold, the age rating is higher on Origami King than it was on Color Splash.
Yeah, that chapter before the scissor fight was just like, especially like, whoa, look at these
I
guys.
love
They're actually,
love
like,
that
cut
they
up.
did with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't get why or how people want to cram that into like the main Mario universe. It's stuff like people getting cut up by scissors and then being morphed into a horrifying amalgamation of their faces. Like, how would that work in the real Mario universe? Oh dear.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you just wouldn't want to see with, like, actual flesh and blood people.
Yeah. No, anyway, if you want to go watch my tangent on that whole debacle, then you can go watch that video. But yes, let's wrap things up now, because we've been going at this for an hour and 46 minutes. How do you rate this game amidst the other Mario RPGs? So what are your thoughts about it?
So not just the Paper Mario series, but, like, all of the Mario RPGs.
All of Mario RPGs.
Oh, shoot, we're doing all of them?
You don't have to rank them all, but, like, just like a general idea of what it's better than and what it's worse than.
I was purely thinking
Or like
Marios.
what you like it more than and or what you like it less than, because just personal preference and how good you think it is are different things.
For me, I think it's on par with Origami King. I think TTYD and Origami King are matched with each other for me. The rest of the Paper Marios, I think, let me think for a second. Even though I love Color Splash, is going all the way down to, like, C. Because, like, every other game, it's just improved on it. I think it would be, like, Color Splash and Super would be on the same tier for me. But yeah, that's pretty much how I'd rank them all.
So for me, this is definitely a top tier game. I know I've said that Super Paper Mario is my favorite, but I recognize that's down to a lot of, like, personal stuff for me, so I don't necessarily think it's, like, the best or whatever, but when it comes to games that are, like, actual RPGs, too, because SPM is only, like, kind of loosely an RPG, I think TTYD is one of the best ones. I like Superstar Saga as much as TTYD, and I like Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Those would probably be my, like, top 3 Mario RPGs that I actually consider to really be RPGs instead of some kind of weird experiment.
Weird amalgamation.
Yeah, but I really like the first Paper Mario as well. I think TTYD has, like, higher highs, but also maybe lower lows than the first Paper Mario. But I think just based on, like, the characters and the stories and stuff, I would put TTYD slightly above it just because I find it more interesting.
With me, the difference between how much you like a game and how good you think it is, for me, I feel like the gulf between those two things are rather large, because personally for me, the modern 3 Paper Mario games, they all just give me this cozy feeling of happiness, and they all make me smile. And it's weird, like, when I was playing through the Thousand Year Door remake, I can tell all of this is really good, and I'm enjoying it a fair bit. But it doesn't really elicit any feelings from me. And I don't think that that's a fault of the game. I think that is just because of the dark cloud of various Thousand Year Door fans being annoying and abusive about Sticker Star and stuff. And it's just like my brain doesn't want to allow me to properly enjoy Thousand Year Door out of spite to those people, to be honest. So when I think back about which Mario RPGs and which Paper Mario games I like the most, Super Paper Mario is at the top of that list, because I've adored that game for such a long time. And then the modern trilogy, in, like, descending order of Origami King, Color Splash, Sticker Star. And then Thousand Year Door and 64 are below those for me in my mind, because it's hard to explain, but the modern games just make me happier than those games do. And it's not real. It's unfortunately not really a fault of those games themselves, even though I can see that they're, like, more mechanically sound than most of the modern games are. I have a weird relationship with the Paper Mario series, and it's kind of rather bizarre. But
yeah, I get it. Like,
yeah,
people always say, like, oh, you shouldn't let a fandom influence your view of a game or whatever, but it is hard. Like, if you've had bad experiences with people and people have been jerks to you, then, like, yeah, like, it affects how you're going to view things, and that is unfortunate, but it's just how it goes. And so that's why I think that the best way to convince people to like something is not to put other things down, but just to show how much you love something, and whether it's just by talking about how much you love it or doing fan art or whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Like, it's fine to disagree about things, you're like, fair enough, I disagree with that, but you do you, sort of thing. That's much more helpful than trying to fight someone to the point of like, no, I have decided that the game that I like is the best, and I will not rest until you agree with me. That is just going to make them dig their heels in further, and it's not going to end well. They're not going to be happy about that ever. But yeah, it's funny because like Super Paper Mario, I like enjoy that a lot, and I feel very personally attached to that game in particular. I have it listed as my favorite game ever, but like I can acknowledge that it's like far from the actual best game that I've played. Like I did a top 10 Wii games video just recently, and like if I were ranking them by how actually good they all were, then Super Paper Mario probably near the bottom, to be honest. But I just like it a lot, and I feel similar ways about the modern Paper Mario trilogy. But I enjoyed this game a lot. I did enjoy it. I don't feel the warm and fuzzy feelings that the modern Paper Mario trilogy gave me, but like it's a very good game. I can tell it's a very good remake. It didn't seek out to like change that many things, but it didn't really need to, really. But it's a good time, and I would recommend. And I don't know how the sales are looking at the moment, but I think that that Origami King and Thousand Year Door sold around the same amount at the moment. So it's very exciting to wonder about what the next game in this series is going to be when we see whatever the Switch successor is.
Yeah, something that I saw pointed out recently that is very interesting to me is like how much like headline potential like Nintendo has given to the Mario RPGs recently. Like Brothership was the first thing on the most recent Direct. And I know TTYD's reveal was like the final announcement for whatever Direct that was. So like you could just say, oh, it's because the Switch is nearing the end of its lifespan and it's, there's not that much left on it or whatever, but like they are giving these games a lot of attention. They seem less like some just random side thing that they're doing, and they're like headliners now. So that is really cool for me as a longtime fan, and I just hope that the Mario series, the Mario RPG series specifically, just keeps getting even better from here.
Yeah. 2023 to 2024 has been like the year of Mario RPGs, because we have the Mario RPG Remake, and then TTYD Remake, and now we're getting Brothership. So I mean, it's awesome.
I'm so glad that like all the series are like alive and well. Well, we'll see about Mario and Rabbids, but yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say that one. Sorry.
But yeah, we are in a very good era for the Mario RPGs. Nintendo seems to be viewing them as important, and they're also apparently selling very well. So that's always good. And I'm extremely excited for Brothership. Really, really excited for that game. Getting that game.
You guys better buy that game.
Buy the game. Yeah.
Yep. Send a message to Nintendo. We want Mario and Luigi back.
Though I did see someone wondering to themselves, they released Super Mario RPG, Thousand Year Door, now they're releasing a new Mario and Luigi. What if they're looking at the sales and wondering, the game that sells the best, that's the series that we'll carry on with, and that makes me nervous.
Oh dear.
I want them all.
Yeah. I doubt it's really like maybe they'll use that to inform their decisions in the future, but I doubt it's really like something like that.
I mean, Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi were able to coexist for a while.
Yeah.
Before Alpha Dream went down. So hopefully Alpha Dream gets back, because we don't know anything about that.
It doesn't need to be Alpha Dream. I feel like it's somebody else now. But like the original devs from Alpha Dream, a lot of them are still in game development, so they can get them still.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like they were able to get some of the artists back, because the character design.
They managed to get the art style in 3D quite well. It looks good.
Yeah. I mean, you're a hardcore Mario and Luigi fan when you recognize that art style immediately.
Oh yeah.
And I know I did.
Like, did you recognize it was Mario and Luigi from the bush or from Luigi?
From Luigi.
Because I have seen people who have claimed I knew it from the bush.
Really? Dang.
Like,
okay, they're hardcore than me.
I'm not sure I believe you at that point, to be honest. But yeah. Yeah, it's always like, I don't record my reaction to Nintendo Directs, and then it's like, introducing the thing George wanted more than anything else. I'm like, dang it! But yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely in the camp that like Mario and Luigi was just gonna be dead forever because Alpha Dream didn't exist and they weren't gonna bother to like try and make another one. But so I was astonished. I was astonished.
I remember when the news when they got bankrupt, and I was just full retreat like no.
I was like, I was one of the 10 people that bought the Bowser's Inside Story remake. I was trying to help. I was supporting them.
I wish I didn't get that game. I wish I kind of did.
I did. I got that game.
It's okay.
As well.
You're not missing that much, but
It wasn't. The
thing is, for me, I
good.
prefer the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did get the Bowser's Inside Story remake. It wasn't the best. It's one of those games that kind of reeks of pointlessness.
I'm in the camp that believe they should have remade Partners in Time instead.
They didn't.
You could tell that they were like running out of budget with the Bowser's Inside
I watched the
Story.
playthrough of it and I'm like, oh my god, that game was rushed.
I did not like the giant Bowser fight scenes, especially. It's so slow and like watching paint dry. In that game.
I am a supporter of the Superstar Saga remake, though. I'm one of the people who actually does like Minion Quest.
Oh, I like those side missions.
Yeah, I love the remake. I got that. I have the remake. I played through it like 3 or 4 times. It's really good.
I like those side modes a lot, actually. I think that they were very fun and they had some good story. And I like how in the Bowser's Inside Story remake, then the Koopalings got a lot of characterization as well, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're coming up on 2 hours on this, so we've discussed a lot of things. Game good. There we go.
Yes.
So, thank you very much for watching, dear viewers. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and comment and tell us your opinions on the Thousand Year Door remake. And thank you very much, Courtney and FlipZ, for joining me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
As always, we love talking about Mario RPGs.
Yes, hope to have you back to do this some more. Right, I'm off to go and make a pizza for my tea and eat one of my rum butter cookies I just made.
I'm gonna go eat some FlipZ.
Okay, good choice. I like FlipZ.